All right, so what we're doing is, this is our other 4.0 motor. I haven't filmed a whole lot on this, but Zach has got the other one completely tore down when we found out that the block needs machine work. Cylinders are out around outside of specs for what they call for. So what we're doing is we're tearing this one down to check the specs to see if we're going to use this block. And I also have worked on the heads, and all the exhaust valves are pretty pitted, so I'm going to look at these heads and see, compare the two. So we're going to throw you on time lapse as me and Zach tear this thing down. Alright, so how to leak test these. Just fill you're going to do this the intake and exhaust, but fill your ports full of either diesel or gasoline, and then you're going to come down through here, and inspect. So this is your exhaust port. Your exhaust valves are always your smaller valves. See how this valve bigger here than this one. This is your intake. Your exhaust is yeah, your exhaust is smaller than your intake. So it don't look like there is any seepage. If you want to see where there would be some seepage, you can go back into my Can-Am motor teardown. We did have some seepage on those valves, and you'd be able to see what it would look like. But you'd basically be seeing some kind of seepage around the valve seal right here, where the face of the valve meets the head and stuff. But this all looks good, so we'll empty it out and we'll do the intake side. Alright, so I got the spring compressed pretty good, and sorry I haven't videoed much, but in here you got to get these retainers out, these little guys right here, which is what holds your valve spring down onto your valve. But sometimes, if you kind of look at it, this spring is not compressing, so what you'll do is just take a hammer and just kind of tap on it. You always want to make sure that you stay centered on your valve spring. But I just tap on them, continue to compress, and this one's got so much pressure on it that it's probably going to flop. So this one's not wanting to go like that, so you just take it off and kind of beat around on it, and then I'll just take some lube, spray in there, because it's just probably just gummed up in there. Sometimes a really big pain in the butt. This one's really stuck in there. Alright, well, let me see if I can get this out. This thing's being a real big booger. So I got it set back down like that. Another trick that we can try is, oops, tripod fell over. So the keepers are these that sit right around there. So get you a socket that fits around there just perfect. And then just kind of beat on it. Let me get a different hammer. Maybe try to, using a metal hammer, try to get maybe more vibration in there. It's just got some crud or something in it. So let's see, let me back you guys up here. Let me see if we can flip it over now. And if that worked. If that didn't work, then well, back to soaking and beating and soaking and beating. I only had one in the other heads that didn't quite give me this much trouble. Jeez. Oh my goodness. Ah. See how that movement we got? Maybe using the metal hammer was the trick, because it sends a different vibration through it than the dead blow. Oh, the valve looks okay. Alright, well, I'm going to get that last exhaust valve out, and then I'll catch up and show you guys how to pull the valve seals. Alright, so how we get these out is, I don't know, let me look, make sure you guys can see. Okay, you can see. It's kind of, I take care of these thingies, channel locks. Just kind of squeeze them and wiggle them. Alright, well, that's all it is to that. Now we need to work on possibly getting these bolts out, get the head cleaned up. I don't know if I'm gonna pull these bolts yet or not. or get the valves lapped in and see where it's at. Probably end up going ahead and getting them pulled out. But one real important thing that I always do when working on a motor, unless it's a motor that I've done several times, I always make sure I label stuff. So if you see right here, I wrote F1. So this is just F1 of the head, and I called this the front of the head. I don't know if that's the correct orientation. I think it is, but this is F1. So I wrote here an F1. So every valve I took out went in order from F1. So F1, F1. So it goes intake, exhaust, intake, exhaust, intake, exhaust. So you got intake, exhaust, and so on. And the keepers are in order. So if you look, the exhaust keepers are a little bit different. I don't know. See how they got multiple grooves inside? The intake ones don't. They got a single notch. Now that is not the same on all motors. Matter of fact, the newer 4.0s, all the keepers are like these exhaust keepers. So they must have changed it up. So what we're gonna do now is, I'm kind of dreading pulling those broken bolts out. Probably gonna be a fun time. I'm gonna go ahead and get these valves cleaned up. So let me show you how I do that. Alright, so what I'm doing here is there's a bunch of carbon that's built up on the valve. And you want to make sure your valve is light as possible, because when these things move at 60,000 or at 6,000 RPMs, these things move up and down 60 times a second. So they do a whole bunch of movement. You know, this ain't a real high performance motor, but real high performance motors have titanium valves in it. You want weight, you want them as light as possible, because this weight, I mean, will restricts the performance of the valve going up and down. Plus it's good to just have a good clean valve. So what I do is I come over here to my wire wheel. If you don't have one of these, you can just take a wire brush. If you don't have a wire wheel, you can just take a wire brush and just go around it. This wire wheel is just a cheapo. I haven't found an old iron or old one. Some tooling, I don't care to buy new, but like benchtop grinders and drill presses and lathes and stuff, I like the old stuff better. That's just, old iron's better, I think, in my opinion, on certain things. So this is just a cheap one. I mean, it's a tool shed. I think I paid like 40 bucks for the thing at Royal King. I mean, heck, I think the wire wheel and the stone was more expensive than the grinder. So whenever I find a good deal on one, I'll get one. But let me show you how I get this thing cleaned up. See, you can already tell the difference of how much carbon was onto there. Alright, that looks so much better. Now let's go over here and I'll show you stage 2 of cleaning. Alright, so now I got my valve all cleaned up off the wire wheel. So what I do is I just chuck it up in my drill press. You can also do this by hand. This is just stuff that makes life easier. And then I just take a Scotch-Brite pad and just go back around and clean it up. Sorry, this thing is loud as all get out. Just a little bit of carbon on it. Yeah, it looks pretty good. I think that's just dirt inside the grooves. And then one thing you want to really look for is in the seat, if there's any pitting. This one looks pretty good. Let's see what this. We'll do an intake one, and then I'll catch back up with you guys, because I know all the intake ones from the other heads were just totally pitted up. So let me get on one of these intakes. Alright, so like I was saying, these exhaust valves are the same way. I don't know if you can really pick it up on camera. Let me set you up here. So you see all this pitting down through there and discoloration. We're gonna have to clean that one up. See how this one is so much better looking. Sorry, I'm trying to do this through the GoPro screen, but it looks so much better. So not a big deal. We'll just have to take that one up. I'm assuming that all the exhaust valves are going to be like that, because they were like that on the other motor. So we'll get some video. Probably do some time lapse of getting the rest of these cleaned up. Alright, so we got all the valves cleaned up. And once again, all the exhaust valves are pitted. So, what we'll have to do is I'll have to go up to my dad's house and use his lathe, and we can turn these. We got a special jig with a stone that we can reface these. So now I think, I don't know, I don't want to work too late tonight. I've already worked today. I'm just kind of out here tonight tinkering. Still pretty early, but I kind of like to spend some time with the kiddos tonight. But I'm gonna go try to see what we can do about this broken stud, this broken stud, and this broken stud. This one I may have to drill out and retap, but I'm unsure on that yet. So that's I don't know. Probably should just go ahead and fire up the torches right off the hip, but I'll probably, you know, ignore that and just use my little one for right now. So let's see what we can do here. Basically what I'm doing here is just trying to heat the bolt up. I'm using nap gas. It burns a lot hotter than propane for these little torches. So I'll get this heated up and then I'll catch back with you guys when I jump on it with a pair of vice grips, see if we can get her broke loose. Just in case it tells me I got a fire. Looks like I sure do. Maybe we ought to move this.
I'd like to probably say some of that stuff. I love your first one. Jennifer was, I thought when you guys broke up, she broke up with me too.
Alright, well, I tried working on the bolt. As you've seen, it was kind of an epic fail. I just wasn't able to get it hot enough. And I'm too lazy to go over in the corner and dig my torches out. Or unwind all the hose over to here and rewind it up. So I figure I'll just do that later. Not really in the mood to deal with bolt right now. So I'm going to get this deck surface cleaned up. Basically I use a Dremel with a wire wheel attachment on the end of it. And then I use just a right angle or angled one with a buffer pad on it. It's a real soft course, so it won't do it. Plus, if you do it this way and you keep moving it around, I know there's a lot of mixed feelings on people doing this. I have done this. I bet I've done every bit of 100 motors in my lifetime, and I've never had one problem with it doing it this way. So, just your biggest thing is just when you're doing it to just stay moving fast and not just sit there and hold it in one spot. That's when you're going to get a divot or unlevel the head. So, yeah, I'll show you how I do this.
Hey, Daddy.
What, bud?
Now I'm there for today.
Maybe later.
Daddy, why is it leaking?
Huh?
Why is it leaking?
Oh, I gotta fix the fuel line on it. It's no big deal.
Why is it doing that?
It'll be okay. We'll get her fixed, bud.
Okay. When are we gonna fix it?
Probably this weekend or maybe one night this week. No, we can fix it, buddy. Papa don't need to do it. No, we can fix it. Papa don't need to come over and do it.
Hey, Daddy.
What, bub?
Am I allowed to go jump on the trampoline?
Here in a little bit when Mommy gets back home.
When should we get home?
Not too long.
Daddy, you need to fix it. So this is kind of blowing up the system.
What?
You want to see me Willie at the garage door?
Sure. Show YouTube too. Cason's gonna wheelie out the garage door. Good job, dude. Alright, well, whoop, watch out, tripod. We got the valve cover, intake, and we got the head gasket done, or not the gasket, but the surface is done. Now, this is not the very correct way to do this, so I don't get ate up in the comments, because I'm sure somebody out there, you know, knows a whole lot more than I do, and I'm a total idiot, and I just destroyed this head by doing that. But I'm going to show that I didn't. Now, if this motor had blown head gaskets, or, you know, we were losing coolant, we knew it had blown head gaskets, yes, I'd have took and got this head resurfaced and pressure tested and everything. That is not the case with this motor. I'm just cleaning it up to put new head gaskets on. You know, if I thought that there was a reason that it needed to go, I'd have took it. Now, I will put a straight edge on it and a stone later, you know, before final assembly. I just like to do this and clean it up. I know it's in good shape. So, yeah, I just wanted to clarify that, because there's always those people on there that, you know, are always smarter than you, and your way is always wronger. So, but yeah, so we got this head pretty much done for now. We do need to get those exhaust manifold bolts out. I think what we're going to do is go ahead and start on this other head here, so that way we can get the valves out and cleaned up, because I am going to have to take these up and use the lathe at my dad's and get them cleaned up, and then we can lap everything in and get the heads completely done. So what my steps, how I do heads, is once I get them off, I throw them in my parts washer. I wash them up, get most of the crud off of them. I'll pull all the valves, clean all the valves. If I don't have any pitting and stuff, I'd lap them all in, and then I would lap them all in, and then do this step, and then take it to clean. But since I'm not going to lap these in right now until I get these valves done, so I'll actually take the valves up with me and the heads, more than likely, and lap them in up there, so that way if I got to fine tune them, I can. But I'm going to say probably these valves are all within clearance from the lines that I can see that they got. So yeah, I'm going to get this other head tore apart. Alright, that's going to wrap it up for this video. I got all these done, what you guys seen. I got 4 of them done off that head. I got 2 left, but the dinner bell has rang, so I'm going to call it a night. So yeah, in the next video, we'll get these other 2 cleaned up. We're going to lap everything in, and then we'll pick it up probably up at my dad's house on the lathe. So yeah, hope y'all learned something maybe, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. And by the way, thanks everybody. We finally reached we're over 1,100 subscribers now. So man, we climbed that mountain extremely fast. So I can't thank all you guys enough. So I'll keep posting. You guys keep watching. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment, and we'll catch you on the next one.